if your dog is suffering from allergy issues, try these two alternatives before putting them on immunosuppressants such as Apoquel. So my name is David, this is Bailey. He's now 4 years old. About 1 to 2 years ago, he started getting ear infections. His ears would start getting really red. He was kind of digging at his ears a lot, so that's how I knew there was a problem. Along with that, he was also getting, his paws were getting really red. They were itchy, he was licking, he was biting them. So I took him to the vet. Pretty much the vet said these are the result of allergy issues. And so pretty much specifically with his ear problems, those are more food-related allergies. With his licking his paws, those are more related to environmental allergies. And so I had tried him on this medication called Cytopoint for many months. That medication is an injection given every month, 1 to 2 months. But for him, it was not really effective. So at one point in time, I had talked to the vet and I asked, so do you think the next step should be to get him an oral immunotherapy to help? And while the vet did agree, the vet did also mention that we could try him on a separate medication that's similar to Cytopoint. This medication is called Apoquel. And this medication is similar, but it is still different. So in the moment, I didn't want to just start him on a medication without doing some research on it first. So when I went home and I looked into the medication, so it is an immunosuppressant. So if people don't know, you might be wondering, what's the big deal? If the medication helps, then why not just use it? So the main concerns with immunosuppressants is that they suppress your immune system. And off the top of my head, a few of the side effects that I am aware of are like vomiting, diarrhea, lethargy, anorexia, and you do have the reduced, you have less white blood cells, so you're more susceptible to infections and to cancer. So when I found that out, I love my dog, and that's like by far, this medications, immunosuppressants are by far the last thing I would want to put him on, unless I really had no other choice. So I decided I would try to kind of look around, see if there were other alternatives to my solution. So the first thing I tried was dog shoes. So these are the dog shoes that he has. These look old, but he hasn't used them in a long time now. And for him, they did help. They definitely did help, but not completely. So you kind of have to think, like, if you are not wearing shoes and you're just walking around barefoot, like you're contacting dirt, dust, allergens kind of all over the place. And if you're not washing your hands consistently, let alone with soap and water consistently, like your skin is almost bound to become irritated by that. So ultimately, I decided to try this to see if it would work. And while I feel like it did help, it wasn't to 100% effectiveness. So I kept looking. So one time I actually talked to a Pet Food Express worker, and this lady at Pet Food Express mentioned that, oh, maybe the itchiness in his paws and the redness is due to fungi buildup. So fungi love really dark, cool, moist areas. So paws are an area where fungi can fester. And so I thought maybe what he needs is an antifungal medication there. So pretty much I decided that I looked online. There is this medication called KetoChlor. This is the medication. I will link it in the description along with the shoes if you want to try these two options. So KetoChlor, it's a combination of two medications. This is a shampoo, but there's two medications in here. The first one is ketoconazole, which is an antifungal. The other one is chlorhexidine, which is an antiseptic that's often used to sterilize before surgery. So the directions on these are, they're pretty simple. You just shake well before you use it. And then you want to liberally apply to the affected area, so to his paws. And then you want to actually let it dwell for 5 to 10 minutes before you actually start rinsing and washing it off. You don't want to just apply and immediately start rinsing it off. So I literally put it on for put the medication on, and I used the stopwatch to time for 10 minutes. And then I would take him to get it rinsed off in the bath, and rinse it off completely. So of course, if you have allergies to these two medications, or if your dog has allergies to these two, then of course you can't use this particular one. So real quick, the directions say you should use it 2 to 3 times a week for 4 weeks, and then you can reduce to once a week. So actually for my dog, I didn't even have to use it for that long. I only really used it for about 1 to 2 weeks. So for him, typically it was pretty much after the first week I was already seeing good improvements, and after 2 weeks it was pretty much all resolved actually. So there's still a lot of the medication in this bottle. I didn't have to use the full 4 weeks and on. And pretty much since then, the issue's pretty much been completely resolved. I have not actually had to use this at all, like I said. And so, in hindsight, it kind of sucks that I didn't get this recommendation from the vet. And I kind of had to go a circuitous route to find the solution. It would have been much more efficient if maybe I had gotten this recommendation from a vet. But this just goes to show the need to advocate for yourself. Ultimately, only you will care enough about you and your dog to ultimately try to find each solution out there until the solution's resolved. And just as a disclaimer, I'm not a vet. I'm just saying this is what worked in my situation. I'm not sponsored or affiliated by any of these two products. And again, I just want to make sure I'm clear. I'm not trying to denigrate vets. I'm not saying vets don't do a good service, because they do provide a necessary service to the community. But it still just sucks that I had to kind of find it out on my own to figure out what would work without having to use immunosuppressants. In the next video, I'll talk about his food allergies and what I was able to do in his story to help resolve those food allergies. So this video will strictly only be for environmental allergies. But otherwise, hopefully, again, you've taken something away from this, and thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.